Hello out there. We're on the air. Good morning. Happy hump day. Happy hump day. Is everything working here? There's a big time delay there. All right. The microphone's good. The camera's good. We got Arnie here. It's going to be a good show today. I promise. I promise. Okay, let's update the zaps quickly and then let's get on the road. We are so damn close. And you can take that how you want to. It could be bad, it could be good, but we're close to something here. Where's hump day? All right. So everybody knows the rules on Wednesday. Likes, zaps. Pretty much guarantee a hump today. So I'd say your odds are better, even though both are almost a guarantee. I'd say your odds are better with the zap. But we don't discriminate. Anyways, we got BTC Backpacker here. He is, I think it's a he, the winner of the 88 sats this morning with a great comment here. Anyone else playing Hungry Hippo for sats? What a game that was. It was just like pure mayhem gobbling up the hippo food there. And it seems like that. I'm trying to play Hungry Hippo for sats lately. What else would you be doing? So BTC Backpacker, if you want to throw your Lightning address in the chat, you can. If not, I'll get you on Nostr. What the hell's going on here? Jesus, this thing's making some noise. Hopefully that's better. No, it's not. Try that. There we go. Okay. Well, we got Timber Crasher here. Good morning, Timber Crasher. We got Letha. Good morning, Letha. Hope you're doing better than yesterday, or starting to anyways. We got Duchess. Morning, Jor. Hope you and Arnie are doing great. Are we ever? Are we ever? I don't think we've ever been better. Have we, Arn? We ever been better? No, we have not. Good to see you, though. Joey, good morning, my friend. Muslim Bitcoiner. We in strikes. A little election on top. It's the October. We need it. What's we? War, maybe? Oh my God, I thought so. All right. I thought so. I didn't want to assume your gender, either male or female. I didn't want to assume, but I figured. All right, Zaps, what's going on over there? Nothing. How come Zap's so quiet? Am I out of money or something? Did I not pay my rent for the month? All right, let's feed it some. Let's feed it some sats. Okay, we're all paid up. So, what do we got on the agenda today? This show is titled "We Are So Damn Close." We're gonna be covering a variety of things today. I think this is gonna be a very long show. So buckle in. Probably about half it or less is going to be on the main channel here. The other part's going to be on the Living in the Future, the Bitcoin Journeyman, and whoever wants to join us today. So I'll give you some time. I will warn you, it's going to be a good one today. It is. We got a lot of videos we're going to talk about, some out there, some not so much, but we're going to discuss. And what else was there that I had on the agenda? I got some ideas as well. I got some ideas that I want to share with anybody out there who is at a point in their life where they're not really sure what the next move is, whether you're still at your job or whether you've recently left a job and you're trying to figure out how to get by, or you're just already in a good position and you want to, as BTC Backpacker said, playing Hungry Hippo with sat. So I'm going to give a couple different ideas. Some of them are more along the lines of getting non-KYC sats while still making a bit of a profit there. So there's some good ideas. I think that people are going to get some value out of the show today. I hope anyways. I guess that'll be up to you. Juju, what is the best solution to stack sats if you're traveling the world? Where to put the private key? Somebody asked us a little while ago on the show. I think the best solution for that, honestly, is going to be like a multi-signature kind of setup where you keep one of the keys yourself. You maybe leave another key with a family member or somebody you trust, the most trusted person in your life. And then you leave it with a third party, like Unchained. I think they're Unchained. Oh, there's a cat in the yard. Black cat. Is that bad or good? We're going to go with good. There's a black cat that's been, I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, you can see it. There's a black cat that's been roaming for the last couple of years here, but he was missing a tail, so this is a new cat. This is also black bear country too. So we got black bears and we got black cats. Maybe the black cats are just baby bears. I wonder if Arnie sensed it. He's gone. Anyways, what were we talking about? Yeah, I think that's going to be your best bet. So that's one. I mean, the other one would be, so I said Unchained as an example. We have a very exciting service coming here to the Bitcoin Journey community. I would say they're going to be the first to be able to try it out. I had a couple people email me last week when I mentioned it. So this is maybe another good time to talk about it. It's the super backed, and it's going to be a multi-jurisdictional, multi-signature, very, I wouldn't say complex. It seems pretty simple to me, but it's a very good way to store your keys in this example. Or if you're in a position where nobody else in your life really understands what's going on, and you don't really want to give your private key to them in case something were to happen to you, that's what this is going to be for. So Juju, I would say if this is you and you're actually asking for advice for yourself, then send an email to me and we'll set up a call and we'll see if there's anything that we can do to service that for you. Looks like a little kitten. Anyways, I gotta snap back here. I see Ahsoka's over in the Zap stream, and I see I see Plunger. Ahsoka, I thought that was an emoji puking, but it's a sunrise. It looks like the yellow face with the green puke coming out of its mouth. Morning, guys. War. Okay, I thought that's what you meant. Or border wallet with Sparrow. That's a great idea. I think Daniel has mentioned that before in the Zap stream. So Juju, either send me an email or check out the border wallet or both. That's my recommendation. Retro Beaver, good morning, fellow OGs. Are we OGs? I guess so. I think to be an OG, you had to be here before January 2024, before all the big money came into the game. I think that's an OG. That's what they'll look back on anyways. I don't think that is right now. Like if you got into Bitcoin in December 2023, if you took a small sample, a poll, people wouldn't say you're an OG. But I think looking back in like 20, 30, 50 years from now, they're going to say anybody who was in Bitcoin before January 2024 would be considered an OG Bitcoiner. That's when it moved from retail to institutional. So if you were in there before that, before the big boys, I'd say you're an OG. Jason, good to see you, my friend. All right, so let's keep things rolling here because we do have a lot to get through today, and there's no time for dicking around. I was going to share this on Nostr. Give me 1 sec here. See if we can get some Nostr users in the chat. I usually only share the zap.stream in there. All right, we're good to go. Okay, let's check out the mempool, see what's going on quickly. We'll give away some Bitcoin, and then we'll get into the heart of things here. So we are currently at block height 863,817. Okay, I got to remember to say something right after this. Remind me. The fees have dropped again, 2 sats per VByte if you're looking to transact on the Bitcoin layer 1. And by the way, that 863,817, that's how many blocks have been mined since January the 3rd, 2009. The very first Genesis block, Jan 3, 2009. Since then, average of every 10 minutes, 863 blocks or 863,000 blocks have been mined. And each one of those blocks is just a bunch of transactions, a bunch of data. Every block, there's a a subsidy and fees paid to the miner who solved the equation. So in this case, they got 3.154 Bitcoin for a total of $191,000 US. Oh, how are we doing on the difficult? Oh, we caught up. Interesting. So yesterday when we watched the show, or when we did the show, I think we were about 25, 30 blocks behind. But if you look at it now, it looks like we've caught up. Sorry to go in and out here. But it looks like the difficulty adjustment now is only 0.08% down. And we've caught, there's usually if there's red right here, it means that we're behind. So it looks like we're behind a little bit, but it's caught up in the last 24 hours. It's interesting. That means that there's new miners being turned on, or miners that were unplugged are being turned on again. So, oh, that's what I was going to mention here. I reminded myself. So just based on where we are right now, and I'm guessing that most people who are here right now watching the show live aren't going to be, I shouldn't say that, but we're coming into a point here where I think in the next couple months, 6 months, even the next year, we'll go with that. But I think there's going to be a lot of new Bitcoiners. This show is focused on actionable and logical discussion for Bitcoiners and future Bitcoiners. So I think there's going to be a lot of future Bitcoiners who are going to be typing in how to buy Bitcoin, how to store Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin, into Google for over the next couple months to a year. A lot of new faces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing a show, I think, once a week. In addition to this, I'm not going to stop doing the daily Bitcoin journey, but I'm going to start doing a live show once a week, specifically for new Bitcoiners. So if you are somebody who's watching this either now or recorded, video or audio, and you're hearing this and you're a new Bitcoiner, I'd say somebody who's been in Bitcoin since like 2024. If you just got into it this year, I want you to reach out to me because I'm going to be doing like 3, 4, 5 questions, and I'm going to pay you for it. I'm going to pay you in sats. So if you're interested in that, not interested, but if you, I guess interested. If you've been in Bitcoin for less than a year now, shoot me an email, 88sats@proton.me, and just put in the title New Bitcoiner, and I'll send back some questions for you because I want to specifically tailor the content towards the feedback I get. So that's the plan. I'm going to be doing once a week for beginners, like very basic stuff. And I'm looking for some feedback on what would be the most important topics to be covered. So if you're a new Bitcoiner, you want to participate in this, you want to earn some free sats, then send me an email. Say new Bitcoiner, what do I do? Pasty, good morning, my beauties. Great comment here. Ahsoka's post OG, interesting. All right, so maybe there's more new faces than I thought in here. All right, so that is my ask of you this morning. And I think that even if you're somebody who's been in Bitcoin for a little while longer, it's not a horrible idea to kind of go back to the basics sometimes, not only for your own learning, but, just to be able to resonate more with people in your life. So if you got friends, if you got family, they're going to be texting you saying, how do I buy Bitcoin? Can you set up a call? Explain this to me. It's good to be on their level instead of where you are. So like I said, even though this is going to be tailored mostly towards newer Bitcoiners, I do think that everybody in this chat, everybody who watches this channel will be able to benefit from it. So let's give away some sats here, my friends. Let's give away some sats. So get your phones out. Somebody asked yesterday, by the way, maybe I'll do a little quick demonstration here because somebody said, I can never figure out how to scan the QR code when you give away the sats. So what you do is just open up any Lightning wallet. As long as you're not in the US, I would suggest using Wallet of Satoshi. That's what I use to scan it on mine every day. So as long as you're not in the US, which I think half my audience here is from the US, but if you're not, you can use Wallet of Satoshi. If you are, you could use Phoenix, you could use Koinos, you could use, what else? I don't think Aqua would work. Maybe I'll try with Aqua. I'm going to try with Aqua. All right, receive. No, sorry. What you think you're going to click receive, but it's actually send. That's what you need to press. So I'm going to go to Lightning. I'm going to try to scan the code here and see if this works. I'll do it. I don't know. Try Aqua. If you're using Aqua wallet today, try using Aqua for this. So the main thing you have to do is click send, and then it'll scan the QR code. So here we go. Here's the toss into the well. Good luck, everybody. Let's have a big one today. Biggest one yet. No. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it for us, but it's still 500 sats, and those sats are courtesy of the Bitcoin well and the Bitcoin journey, I guess, in a way. It looks like it picked up on Aqua, but I think it's been claimed already. What can I do here? All right, we're going to leave it there. Here's what I'm going to do. If you won the 500 sats there, put in the comments wherever you're watching, what wallet you used, just so, or don't, or if you want to keep your trade secrets to yourself, that's fine. I respect that. But if you're feeling generous, if you want to help others out, then you can let us know what wallet you used. Letha said that she can't get Aqua to work. Maybe I'll try it after the show today with the Aqua. But I trust Letha. She's a veteran in here. She's a multi-time winner here. Oh, we got lots to talk about. All right. I wanted to start with this one today because this is what the show is titled after, and I think that this is going to kind of pour out through the whole show today. So it's a longer video. It's 5 minutes long, but it's very much worth watching and listening to because I feel like this guy's sentiment right now is very reflective of how many people are in the world. So let's listen to this. It's a great video. Like I said, maybe I'll speed it up a bit. He talks pretty fast as it is, but we got shit to get through here today. So let's watch this. It should take about 3-4 minutes now that I sped it up. But let's see what this fella has to say.
Have you guys seen the rest of the world? What it looks like? Not in America. Not America. The rest of the world. We are the wealthiest nation, right? We have the most money. Excuse me, my dogs are fighting. Love each other. Dubai. China. Moscow. Before our military-industrial complex finishes the job. Tokyo. Singapore. That's freaking cool. You ever seen one of these? Well, if you're from America, you probably haven't, unless you're on the internet. It's a bullet train. When's the last time you got on one of those? Every year, apparently, America makes $4.44 trillion with a T dollars, which sounds made up, but I'm going with it. But at least they take all that revenue and they do that math. I'm not good at it. And they help us, right? Hawaii burns down. What do? We give 10 times the amount of the money needed to rebuild every single home and build them better that burned down in Hawaii to Ukraine. Oh, thank goodness. Hurricane Helena happens, a once in a lifetime, which is probably the 5th or 6th once in a lifetime storm, hits Tennessee. Emergency services are cut off completely from residents. There's another picture. I think it's the same place. Almost every bridge is collapsed. It's washed away. Stranding. Everyone. Hospitals are underwater. And I live in this part of Tennessee, just barely outside the purple, just right here. So it's only a little tiny bit of Tennessee. So it doesn't matter, right? Thank goodness we have the Army National Guard. I was in the Army National Guard in Arkansas. And we use them for times just like this because we fund them for times just like this, right? Fuck you, bitch. They're going to Kuwait because they need more help than us right now. Yeah. But this is all just the price we have to pay for freedom. How fucking free do you guys feel? And the vast majority of us think if we're on this team, then this team is the enemy. And if we're on this team, then this team is the enemy. And it's like I'm the only one that realizes it's professional wrestling. It's professional wrestling. It's not real. Those teams don't exist. Those teams are made and constructed. You against them. You're the good one. They're the bad one. You're a fucking idiot. And Americans are the most laid back, apathetic people on earth. If it doesn't directly affect us, we just, whatever. Until enough of us are mildly inconvenienced enough to go out into the streets and protest and we're so angry. And the elite watch from their ivory towers and go, that's adorable. That's so cute. They think they're going to change something. We are the most propagandized country on the face of the planet. You think it's North Korea, you think it's China, you think it, fill in the blank. It's us. We are fed the most nonsense and we slap it up. Oh, we love it. The vast majority of you think this. You really believe that your vote will be counted and it matters. You actually think that, don't you? It doesn't matter who lives here. It doesn't matter. This guy was in charge. We all know what he did. Then this guy, and we all know what he did. Then came him as a big old fuck you to this fucking lizard person. Then this gentleman got in there and somehow he got 3 times the amount of votes that this guy got, which is strange. That's for a different video. And they all stayed here. And whoever's staying here, they all have one simple thing in common. Their bosses, the banks. That is who runs this show. That is the real enemy. It's possible that I'm just in a mood because of this hurricane and maybe I need to take a Midol. I don't know. I haven't showered in 4 days because we still don't have water. We have power, which is great. Can't shower with electricity unless you take a live, laugh, toaster bath, but that's not recommended. I have an abscessed tooth and none of the dentist office are open because they don't have water. And the closest one would take 5 to 6 hours, maybe, if I'm even able to get there. So I'm a little bit grouchy right now. So I don't want to be a party pooper or nothing, but this fucking sucks. All I'm saying is this is broken and we need to fix it. Like, let's fix it.
Pretty powerful stuff there, I would say. Again, I think that that's how most people are feeling right now. And that's why I titled the show today, We Are So Damn Close. Because everything that he's saying there, I disagreed with a couple. I think that in terms of like the voting, I mean, I say it all the time on the show. I think that voting is the adult version of writing a letter to Santa Claus. But, and I see his point. He looked at George Bush, who was a Republican. He looked at Obama, who was the most popular president of all time. But then he went to Trump and he didn't really have anything bad to say against him. And again, you can like Trump, you cannot like Trump, but you cannot deny his actions. You cannot deny what he did for America when he was in there for 4 years compared to how it is now. You cannot deny that. So he didn't have anything bad to say against Trump. And that's kind of what I was thinking. I was waiting for what he was going to say about that. So I do agree. It's always been a uniparty where if you're voting red or blue, it didn't really matter too much. I think we're a little bit different now. And I think that Trump was the wrench thrown into this whole thing, that Hillary was supposed to win. She was supposed to win that election. And I think that if she would have won that election, we would all be in much different circumstances, much far worse circumstances than we are today. So I don't necessarily agree with that part of it. But the one part that he's missing there, and why I wanted to highlight this and title the show after it today, is because he's exactly right with everything that he said there. He's absolutely right. And there's a lot of people who are at that exact stage right now who are seeing their worlds just completely be upended by the banks. He even said it there. I think that if you watched that video a year ago or 6 months ago, they wouldn't, and when I say they, I mean like the general population of people, they wouldn't have gotten to the point of seeing that it's the banks. That's the problem here. But he's there. He's realized that it's the banks, but it's not even the banks. It's their bosses. It's the Federal Reserve. It's the central banks. That's the problem. And when you go to that next level and you see, okay, if that's the problem, it's the centralized banks, centralized system, the giving a small group of people the ability to print money. That's what's creating all this. And then you find the antidote to that, which is Bitcoin. And so I do think that even though Not everybody's caught on yet, which to us is good, I think. In a selfish way, it's a lot of opportunity for us because, again, everybody is starting to figure that out. And once they get past the banks to the central banks and realize that Bitcoin is the counter to the central banks, that's how change happens. He didn't really provide much of a solution there at all. He just said, we need to fix it. It's broken. There's a solution. It's called Bitcoin. And going back to like the politicians and stuff and Trump versus Kamala, although I don't think it's going to matter like long term who wins, it definitely matters right now. Because if Kamala wins, if Kamala happens to win, she can do a lot of things. She can make Bitcoiners' life living hell for the next 4 years and beyond. I think if they win this election, we're going in a completely different direction than we otherwise would have. And I know that there's probably going to be people in the chat saying Trump's not going to fix anything. I disagree. I think if you have the option between somebody who hates you, hates Bitcoin, hates freedom, is a known Marxist, communist, very bad policies which have destroyed the best nation on earth. That's one person there. And then you have somebody who's Bitcoin friendly, who wants the best for their country, who wants people to be sovereign. It's not even a comparison. So yes, I do agree that for the majority of history, it has been a uniparty where it didn't really matter who you vote for. You were getting the same policies. I think that it is a different point right now. I think we're at the inflection point where if she wins, we're in a lot of trouble for a while. And if he wins, he's not going to save everybody, but he's at least going to make it easier, and he's not going to stomp on you when you're trying to better yourself and better your communities. So there is a big difference there. But the point there is that most people are so close to realizing what the problem is here. We went from each other to the government to the banks. Next one is the central banks. And then people realizing that, wait a second, Bitcoin was designed to separate money from the central banks. That's literally what it was designed to do. And there's a whole bunch of hoopla in the news, in the mainstream, saying Bitcoin's this, Bitcoin's that. Bitcoin is designed to separate money from the state. Whatever it becomes is up to us. But that's what it was designed to do. All right, boom me. Let's address this. Because I feel like there's a lot of people out there who really feel this way. Trump locked down the US and wore masks, not to be trusted. Okay, so you have to understand where Trump was in this whole thing. And we're going to watch a video in the second part of the show talking about the pandemic, talking about the real reason behind the pandemic and how it impacts what we're seeing right now, how it impacts the money and how it impacts Bitcoin. But I'll just say this for now, is that Trump didn't have a choice. There's much more powerful forces at work, and he knew that they had the vaccine. They were pretending like they were trying to get this thing ready to go, that hopefully it would be ready in a couple of years. Hopefully when the vaccine comes out, people can come back out of their houses, businesses can open back up. Hopefully in 4 years from now, we'll have this vaccine that can cure everything. Trump knew that it was there. And so what he did, that's why it was called Operation Warp Speed, is because he just rolled it out faster. He didn't make us go through the 4 years of us in our homes wearing masks, pretending that this whole thing was real, waiting for this magical vaccine to come out in 4 years. Understand that if he didn't do that, everybody would have been locked down for 4 years. And could you imagine how different your life would be? I mean, most people here, I'm sure you would admit or agree that your life changed after those lockdowns. And especially if you said no to certain things. Imagine 4 years of that though. So that's one aspect of it. The second one is that he never said that anybody has to get it. He never wanted mandates. He never tried to force anybody to get it. And he also provided other alternatives for it, which he was called an insane person for, like HCQ, like the one that starts with an I, that is literally a miracle drug that they were trying to ban, or they did ban. He was talking about these different alternatives the whole time. He didn't say this is the vaccine. If you don't get it, you can't go to work. It's the only option. He said, no, people should be able to they should be free to make a choice. And here are the alternatives to that. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch his news, his press conferences. So I get it. I mean, It's very easy to forget everything that happened every step along the way and how everything transpired, and just look back and say, oh, well, Trump was in power when the vaccines came out, so he's the bad guy here. No, you have to look at everything that was happening then, what he was talking about, whether he was mandating it or not, what he was fighting for, what he was advising. You can't just go off a generalization of he was in charge, so he had all the power to say what was going to happen there. So anyways, that's enough about that, because I know that people with Trump derangement syndrome have a very hard time snapping out of that. So I don't really need to waste any more time with that. But you just have to look at it objectively and look at the other facts that surround it instead of just being so narrow-minded in that way. He did have a personal choice to wear a mask or not and masked up. I mean, he's a politician. Being a part of, I hate the fact that people say this president got 52% of the votes, so he can only represent that 52% of the people. A good president, and this is why I believe that Trump actually waited so long to talk about Bitcoin, because he knew that if he talked about it early, he would automatically disqualify half of the people, or let's go with 15% of the people. But what did he do it like one time? I don't ever remember Trump seeing a mask either. So I don't know if that's something that happened or if I missed it or whatever, but I don't remember him ever having a mask on or pushing that certain medical experiment on anybody. Rick says, we've never had to deal with a pandemic like this in modern times before. Who would have done better? What more do you want? There was literally people begging for this vaccine. There was one side that already had it ready to go. What is he supposed to do? Hold it back? Keep everybody locked down when he knew that it was ready to go? Like, you have to understand that you're supposed to, as a politician, as a president, you're supposed to look after everybody, not just the people who voted for you. And I think that he understands that, even though obviously he caters more to one side. But I feel like the other side does not understand that part of it. And we've seen that for the last 3.5 years. I shouldn't say we, but we've witnessed that. I've seen that from afar, of how one side really caters to one side and one side only. So anyways, that's enough about that. The point of that whole thing was that, again, people are so close, and we're so close. We made it through this whole thing. We made it through those 4 years of hell. Hopefully is the end of it. We're going to have a new president, hopefully, who's much more on our team. And we're going to have people who are starting to realize that that's the problem. That's the real problem here. And when people do, it doesn't really matter who's in the White House. Because once they get to that point of understanding the fact that it is not about Trump, it is not about Kamala, it's about our monetary system and who's in control of that. And when you introduce Bitcoin into that equation, then nobody's in control of that. And that's the key. That's the key. I see Teets over there in the chat. I see you, Noah. Hi all, hi Jor, better late than never. Good morning, Noah. Good to see you. Great to see you. This is 100% accurate here. If you don't like Trump, you'll focus on all his flaws. If you like Biden or Harris, you'll ignore all of theirs. No doubt. I don't think there's been a more ignorant group of people than what Biden and Kamala have done in their careers versus something that Trump might have said 20 years ago. It's actually insane. As somebody who at least claims to be a level-headed person in a lot of different things, a logical person, it is actually insane what the programming has done to people. Charlie says this will be the last U.S. election before the country is fractionalized. I actually agree with that. I do. And because One way will go in the direction of they're never giving up power. And I think one will go in the direction of, as mentioned in 2016, almost 10 years ago today, the whole idea there, and whether you believe in this whole thing or not, giving power back to the people. That's the end goal here. Giving the power back to us. And what's the tool that we need for that? Bitcoin. It's the only tool that takes away the power. Voting, yes, but you still have to have somebody in place to make that call. That's the point. And I really believe that if Trump would have done that back in 2016, nobody would have bought it. People would have been like, "What the hell are you talking about? We're doing well. Why would we dissolve the government at this point? We're in a really good spot right now." But then we've had 8 years today to see for ourselves, to feel for ourselves everything that's wrong in the world. And I think that now compared to then, there are so many more people who are aware of this now. Again, if they would have tried doing that back in 2016 of actually dissolving the government and just there would have been so much rebuttal to that. There would have been so much pushback because people love to be governed. And especially when things are going well, people love that. It's like, why do we change things? We're good. We're the best country in the world. Why do we change anything? But behind the scenes, there was a lot of people who knew what was going on, knew the plans for the future, and have had a counter to that almost every step along the way. And that's what I think people misunderstand. Even though we see a lot of these things happening, we see the prices at the grocery store going up. We hear about all these different things happening around the world. Has your life really been that bad? Like, I'm sitting in a heated house right now, and with my own yard, and I think, food in the fridge. I got a bed. I got hot water. Like things are shitty, of course, but like they're not horrible. So, I think that we are at the crossroads right now where this election, and even to go above that, I think that everything's already been decided anyways, unfortunately. So we're just going to have to wait for the results and then go from there. That's what I'll say on that. But I definitely wouldn't just write it off as like, nothing's going to happen, so why would I even bother? It costs nothing to vote. It takes no energy to vote. And if it works, great. If it was completely useless, who cares? But on the flip side of that, what if it did matter? And what if everything, you actually have to think about that. And don't get me wrong, I agree with, like I said before that video even started. Voting is like the adult version of writing a letter to Santa Claus. That's what I believe. And long term, I don't think anything's going to change Bitcoin's path. It's just going to be, are we going to be around to see it in our lifetime? Or is it going to be once we're gone? That's the difference. Okay, that's the pandemic one we're going to save. We watched that one. We're going to watch some stuff on the Diddy case on part 2. What else do we have here today? This is a good one. I found this on Nostr last night. I'm thinking this was after the debate. Somebody called in to CBS. This is what he had to say. I think he says he's 91 years old. This is legendary.
100%. It's very scary what's going on over there.
Eli's thoughts there in Ohio. Basil's an independent in Ohio as well. You are in North Olmsted, Ohio. Go ahead.
Yes, I am going to be 94 years old, and I've come to the conclusion no matter which party is in office, it's the owners of the Federal Reserve Bank that control this country, have always controlled this country, and always will as long as the banking system is not in the hands of the government.
All righty. Earlier, we heard from...
Yes, I am going to be 94 years old, and I've come to the conclusion no matter which party is in office, it's the owners of the Federal Reserve Bank that control this country, have always controlled this country, and always will as long as the banking system is not in the hands of the government.
All righty. Earlier, we heard from.
Alrighty. Oh my God. There's not many things make me happier than shit like that. Truly. When someone calls into these propaganda machines and tells the truth, and to watch them squirm while that's happening, that is one of my favorite things in the world. Did you hear how uncomfortable she was there and how quickly she wanted to move on? Alrighty. Like he's a crazy person. Honestly, fuck these people. Oh, I'm getting fired up here. I'm getting fired up. It just pisses me off. But 94 years old, he understands what's going on here. It's not going to be too much longer before everybody understands what's going on here. Just understand that. Because that's how the world works. That's how the world works. When news spreads, it spreads exponentially. And that's what's happening here with everything, with this awakening, with people understanding the truth, with Bitcoin, with everything we're moving towards. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. God, that was good. Oh, man. 94 years old. I hope when I'm 94 years old, I have that kind of fight in me still. Truly. The guy is 94 years old. I mean, he has to expect that he doesn't have many years left. He's not going to see much of this play out, but he's still taking time to call in and let these people know the truth. That's incredible. I love that. I had to share that one today because it kind of ties into the same thing. It's like the problem here is the centralized system. That's the problem. Some people can help us get rid of it faster. Some people will keep it around for longer. That's it. But at the end of the day, the problem is the centralized system, who have the ability to print money, pay themselves, devalue your time and energy. And they have that ability. And that's why we are where we are today. Oh, what else did I have here? Honestly, we have about an hour of stuff to get through on the second part here. So I might just wrap things up on the show. Wednesdays are typically our private Q&A for the Living in the Future and the Bitcoin Journeyman. So we're going to go over there right away. Maybe I'll show this quickly too. And I understand that there's only a portion of people here are from Canada, but I think this is highly relevant, even if you are in the US or other countries. This is from the Financial Post, of all people. Canada needs to prepare as the risk of bank runs rises, warns report. Emerging clouds on the horizon signal changes needed to the existing checks and balances. Well, we're definitely not going to listen to that weirdo. Get out of here. What was the part that I want? Oh, okay. So this is the part I wanted to kind of share. The Bank of Canada could also play a role in modifying the structure of its emergency liquid facilities to make them easier for banks to access in times of stress. Quote, the moment a bank goes to the Bank of Canada looking for money, it immediately signals that the bank is in trouble. Nobody wants to do that because it basically says you have lost confidence of the financial markets at that stage. He said none of the options he is presenting are perfect, but his key message is that people should start talking about what kind of banking system they want in the future, given what happened in recent years. Okay. Well, I mean, they're absolutely right. I think that Canada is in a world of trouble right now. I think that anybody paying attention could tell you that. I think it was last week our Minister of Finance, who just happened to have been a journalist before taking on that role, she increased our mortgage terms to 30 years. And she also pretty much removed the stress test on mortgages for people. So you got that. You got the fact that our government here has basically sold all of its assets. It's gold anyways. Since Trudeau took power, he's basically reduced our gold reserve to 0. So I think that Canadians, more than anybody out there, need Bitcoin. And again, full props to Trudeau. He's created many great Bitcoiners in Canada. So I think that it's happening. But I think the Canadians, more than anybody else, should be doing everything in their power for themselves, for their family, and for their community, of letting people know what's going on here in Canada, the real situation here, and also giving them options for how to possibly save some of that wealth. All right, I'm going to look through. I've kind of been missing the comments here, so I'm going to look back here, and then we're going to jump over to the private channel. So if you want to join us, again, we're going to be talking about the real reason behind 2020 financially, Bitcoin related. We're going to be talking about the Diddy case and what's coming from that and how wild that is. And we're going to be watching an interview actually with Eric Weiss. I got a couple clips I want to show from that, talking about Bitcoin, obviously, some AI stuff. And then I'm going to give some ideas for people out there who are looking to earn some Bitcoin, possibly possibly obtain some non-KYC Bitcoin while making some profits in the meantime. It's not a full-time thing, but it's something you could be doing in your spare time. I got a couple ideas for people. So I'm going to share that. If you're not already a member of the Living in the Future, I would say that take the next couple minutes, go to the main channel here on YouTube. You can click join. That's going to be your easiest route. If you want a little bit more, if you want to be part of the Signal chat, Discord chat, the community there, the network, then you can pay a couple dollars more and have access to that as well. And you can do that through, in the show notes, it says Living in the Future, join. Just follow that and you'll be able to watch the full show today. It's going to be a good one. And I'm not just saying that. We got lots of stuff that we can't really talk about here on the YouTube. All right. What is there anything worth talking about other than other than the politicians? We got to move on from that. I heard this one. Somebody said this yesterday. Those who understand Bitcoin buy Bitcoin. Those who don't criticize it. Was that Sailor? I think I heard that this morning somewhere. It's absolutely right though. RFK. Yes, I think that RFK is going to be a great add to the team. Ty says Trump was constantly being lied to by some of his own people, constantly being attacked from all angles. And oh yeah, I mean, look what was going on at that time. He was trying. I mean, well, let's kind of move on from this, but that was the summer of, they called the summer of love, where they burned down the major cities in the U.S. And then he had an election a couple months after that. Like there was some things going on in the world there. And if you're thinking that one person had the ability to really take things one way or the other, I think you're fooling yourself there. Boomy says, I'm not against Trump, against all politicians. I agree. And honestly, I'm against all politicians as well. I think that there are a couple good ones out there, one being here in Canada, actually, but I can count them on my hand. So it's the same as anything. There is always going to be good people in every system, every entity, every organization. There's always going to be some good people in there. Don't go under the assumption that everybody's out to get you, everybody's bad. There are good people in every part of life. So never talk in absolutes. I try not to anyways. Yeah, Rick's exactly right. Everyone with half a brain could see Biden had dementia, and they tried keeping it from us and continued to lie to our faces. 100%. 100%. Hey, Chico in the van. Good morning from the woods. Good morning from the woods myself. Dirty Scant. What a name. My body has become Bitcoin. Wow. That's quite the, I mean, I don't know. I haven't had enough time to think on that one. Jason says the protests in Ottawa put the banks on blast. Yeah, it's incredible to me how little amount of people woke up to that in Canada. That was like a perfect moment to see, like, here's the use case for Bitcoin. But instead, everybody was too focused on fighting each other. Everybody wanted to be right. Everybody wanted their side to be the right one there, because there was a lot at stake, and there still is. But instead of pointing at the finger on the problem, which was the government freezing bank accounts, the banks complying with that, and Bitcoin being the solution, everybody was just fighting back and forth with each other. Dirty Scant, does Coinstar still give you BTC, and is it no KYC? I've never heard of Coinstar before, so I can't answer that question. All right. Dan says never. I don't know what that refers to, but I agree. So this is it for today. If you want to join us for part 2, I'm thinking we have at least probably another hour. Maybe not, but I'm guessing we're going to be there for an hour. So join us. If you just want to watch the video, just go to the YouTube channel, click join as a Bitcoin journeyman. If you want a little bit more, if you want to be part of living in the future, which we've had a large influx of people joining in the last couple of weeks, and I think that number is going to ramp up. So lots of exciting things happening in there. I'll tell you that. So consider going there. You can find that in the show notes. Go to Join Living in the Future. Click that. You'll have access to every video plus the network, the community there. So on the way out, make sure you press the like button if you want to hump today for hump day. If you want to send our guy Arnie some sats, you can send it to that QR code right there. And big shout out to whoever sent 5,000 sats yesterday for Arnie. It's a big one. 5,000 sats is a big one. So thank you for that. Whoever it was, you know who you are. I don't know who you are, but thank you. And of course, if you're watching in Zap Stream, again, if you want to guarantee a hump today, make sure you zap a little bit of sats. So have a great day, everybody. As Dirty Scant says, have a nice day. Consider joining us. And if not, we'll see you right back here first thing tomorrow. But I think you're going to want to watch and be part of the part 2 today.